Hello everybody and welcome back to MPI TV, sponsored by Caesars Entertainment. I am Sarah Solomon. Now it is the last day of IMEX America, a bittersweet day for all of us as we all have come together this week to reunite, re-energize, and really regroup after a tough week in Las Vegas. This week has been nothing but supporting one another, showing each other love, and a lot of hugging has been going on the show floor and around IMEX America. Also, last night, Rendezvous, the big event for the MPI Foundation. Approximately 2,500 attendees were at Rendezvous, an incredible number. And a little bit over $400,000 was raised for the MPI Foundation just this week. Also a stunning number. So with that being said, I want to get right into today's show. We have the first keynote speaker of this morning, Brent Bushnell. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Sarah.
It is so appropriate to have you here at IMEX America because, you know, we in this industry, we talk about designing experiences, not just planning events. And who better to speak to than to you about that? So first off, for the folks watching from home or from work, let's recap some key takeaways that you want people to walk away with following your keynote this morning.
Sure. You know, I run a high-tech circus, right? And so we're always looking for different ways to reimagine entertainment and take new forms of play, getting people, you know, out in public, meeting each other. And, you know, so one of the big things for me is immersive, experiential, right? These are words that are on people's minds right now. And, you know, I really would encourage meeting professionals to go out and explore this changing landscape. Not just traditional theater. Go to an immersive theater experience. This is, you know, the one that's got the most visibility is in New York, called Sleep No More. And, you know, rather than sitting in a seat and watching, you know, passively as a theater exhibit, you are actively engaged, wandering around a 100,000 square foot environment. And there's a lot of people out there exploring what does theater really mean? I don't need to be sitting in a seat watching the stuff. You know, much better to be able to have it be all around you and have you as an active participant. And so I think there's a lot to be learned from meeting professionals from immersive theater.
Yeah, and you know, I think the challenge is the right word to use, is, you know, these planners are planning the meetings 3 years ahead of time, and it's really hard to sort of, you know, think outside of the box when you have so many different logistics to worry about, and you want all of your attendees to really enjoy the experience. So there's a time constraint, there's maybe fear of, you know, thinking outside of the box too much.
Yep.
So when those elements come into play, what advice would you give these planners that are working tirelessly to make events new and creative?
You know, creativity is all about the intersection of domains, taking some innovation from one place, applying it to another place. And so I have a couple of different ways in which I like to stay creative, and I urge everybody else to do that, is go conference crash. Go to random conferences. Go to conferences that have nothing to do with your industry, because the likelihood is an innovation in one conference is going to maybe be something that you could apply to your conference. You know, there's a bunch that I love. The Future of Storytelling, the C2 conference in Montreal, O'Reilly's Ed Foo conferences, their Foo camps. Each one of these, they've taken the sort of general conference framework and totally recast it in a new way, whether it's a crazy venue, crowdsourcing the agenda, you know, having people stay there. You know, I mean, I literally slept under a conference table at, you know, one of these conferences, you know, because they had everybody staying there. But, you know, the fact that after dinner, before everybody goes to bed, we were all staying in the same place, it felt more like camp. And so I really encourage folks to go to things and just look at what everybody else is doing, and then you can start, it sort of refreshes your creativity and gives you new ways to approach it.
I love that. Great tips. It's really about investing your time and your energy in immersing yourself in these events that are outside of your own, so you can kind of re-energize your brain. I love that. Brent, thank you so much. Pleasure to have
My
you
pleasure.
here.
Thanks, Sarah.
I know
Happy
you're
to be here.
traveling to Orlando today, where we live.
So excited. I love it out there.
Yes, so safe travels. Thank you
Great.
so much for being here. I
Thanks for
appreciate
having
it. So with that being said, it's only appropriate to move on to our next guest, the VP of Events and Education for MPI, Matthew Marcial, who joins me now. So Matthew, your role within MPI is to really focus on how we can create new experiences within events. And part of that strategy has been the Experiential Events Series, which has been going on for 2 years. If you can tell us a little bit more about that, and then what we can expect in the future with that series.
Absolutely. So we've been really excited. We've worked with a lot of high-profile events and destination partners reporters to go behind the scenes on these programs. We focus on 4 key areas: sports, mega events, entertainment events, and culinary events. So we've done behind the scenes on the Toronto International Film Festival, South by Southwest for 2 years, the Democratic National Convention, and even the Indy 500.
And it's interesting that you mentioned this because Brent Bushnell, our keynote speaker from this morning, he was just here on set with me, and he talked about, a tip for planners as they're kind of tapping into their creativity is to really immerse yourself in events and other events outside of your own, so you can really sort of re-energize, recharge, and come up with new creative ideas that, think outside of the box. So that's really what you're doing.
Absolutely. We're trying to see how they can learn and apply what they've learned into their own program. So a lot of our planners are looking at what they're doing, and we've actually created a designation program, the Experiential Event Professional. Once they've completed all 4 segments, they can actually go and showcase how they've applied what they've learned into their own programs.
And looking ahead at WEC 2018 in Indianapolis, which you mentioned the Indy 500 as part of your event that was part of the series, talk to us about what we can expect from a experiential experience from there.
Yeah, we're really excited about WC next year. We actually just went through a process. We're practicing what we preach. We went through an event design canvas session just 2 weeks ago to look at all of our stakeholders in WEC and see how we can really redesign the experience from the ground up. So you're going to see something completely different in Indianapolis. We're really excited about it. The experience from start to finish is going to be really cool. And expect to see more because we're going to start going and doing a case study of what we're doing, how we designed it, so we can really be transparent with our members about how they can do any kind of design beginning to end.
And that transparency can be seen within the education through the MPI Academy. So from an educational standpoint, all of these case studies, everything that you're gathering from your own experiences in your role with MPI, what can we expect from the Academy next year?
Yeah, expect to see more content. We've launched our learning management system, our online learning, just about a year ago now, and it's been great. We've got over 5,000 members who are actively engaging on the online learning. And then we're continuing to develop more certificate programs. Our new Women in Leadership program has been very successful, so we're going to continue to deliver more of those face-to-face. And then we've got a development timeline for more programs like security and risk management, and then more executive level learning.
And it's also all about strategic partnerships, and MPI has partnered with SITE to bring the Global Forum together in January in the beautiful city of Rome.
Yes.
So any sort of cool experiences that you're working on for the Global Forum?
Absolutely. We're really focused on how we can tailor education for both the MPI audience as well as SITE's incentive travel. So you're going to see some crossover between both groups, and like we're doing with WEC, some cool experiences. So we're going to have some local immersion into Rome. We're going to have some great speakers that are covering everything from high-level marketing strategies to the Medici effect, which is going to be really cool.
Awesome. Lots of exciting stuff to look forward to. Matthew, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sarah.
Love speaking with you. Thank you, thank you. And on the topic of experiential events and experiences overall, our sponsor, Caesars Entertainment, definitely knows what that means. So joining me now is Jennifer Veselko with Caesars Entertainment. And Jennifer, there's so much happening within Caesars Entertainment, including some renovations within Caesars Palace.
Absolutely. We are so excited to have recently completed 1,181 guest rooms inside of our largest tower. And the thing that's so special about that is it drops right into the guest meeting space, over 300,000 square feet of meeting space. So it's very accessible, it's the most requested tower, and that was a $100 million project, and we're very proud of it. The rooms are very stylishly appointed.
Well, I cannot wait to hopefully stay in one of those newly renovated rooms. And, along with that, Caesars Entertainment has some great venues within Caesars Palace even. So touch on those venues and how they can really accommodate meetings, especially with this whole, we're having these conversations about creating experiences and not just planning an event. So around that, how can Caesars really work with planners to make that happen?
Absolutely. So one of the most iconic features of Caesars Palace is the Coliseum, very famous for some of our top artists. And you as a meeting planner can actually rent that space. It is 4,100 seats. It is palatial, and we are so proud to have that under our roof, and it is accessible for clients, for groups.
And go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, and additionally, our Garden of the Gods pools is a full complex. It's 5 pools. It's access to 2 floors. And again, we have done cars outside. We can create any type of event, evening. It's amazingly beautiful, and that is about 4,000 to 5,000 people as well.
And including that, you guys are kicking off 2018 with a pretty cool new restaurant. Tell us about that.
Yes, absolutely. So one of our best restaurant partners is Gordon Ramsay, and his newest concept is going to be coming to the Strip, street side, and Hell's Kitchen. So that will be completed the beginning of 2018. He's an iconic brand that we are so happy to partner with, and people are very excited and looking forward to it, and you can see it all coming together.
Wow, Jennifer, well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. So if you guys are interested in learning more about Caesars Entertainment and even planning an experiential event with Caesars, they are definitely the go-to. Plenty of venues and really neat space to work with. Now, we are wrapping up IMEX America, as I mentioned before. It's been an incredible week in Las Vegas. We want to thank you for your continued support in showing this great city a lot of love after a really, really tough week. And remember, it's important as an industry to stick together and continue to support these cities that hurt and mourn with all of us. So that does it for us on MPI TV, sponsored by Caesars Entertainment. We'll see you next year at IMEX America. Stay tuned for a message from our sponsor.